So today I'm actually doing a life update and Q&A video, which I'm pretty excited because I haven't done this in a long time. But recently I actually posted on my Instagram and my YouTube community page about what kind of questions would you want me to answer on a live Q&A on this. And you guys asked me questions on inbound closing, happiness, and advice I would give myself at 18. And some of you guys left some trolly ass comments like, Brian says, when are you going to be a full-time fuckboy? My friend Tom says, all black or all red, because I live in Vegas. And my friend Cynthia said, how do I get sexy like you? Should I shave my head? Thank you, degenerates. And you know, you're an average of the 5 people around you. So that tells you the type of group of friends I have. And by the way, if you want to be part of the next Q&A for these sessions, make sure to leave a comment if you want to be part of the next session. So let's dive into it. Taylor says, yo, Kev, man, broskies. If you could go back to being 18 years old, what would you do differently with all the knowledge that you have now? Well, other than telling myself to, Kevin, buy all the Bitcoin you can when you're 18, or buy all the Amazon that you could. One of the biggest things is finding a mentor. And I'm not talking about one of those guru mentors, like surrounding myself around a group of friends who are very like-minded. You know, one of my good friends, Tam, he actually did this. He actually dropped out of college and all that just to meet a lot of cool people. I have a really good friend named Eric. He does virtual summits and all that. He did the same thing, essentially. You know, one of the things that I think is kind of overrated in society these days is like textbook knowledge, right? Really, the true power, if you want any sort of job or any sort of opportunity or any sort of like business, the real opportunities are in relationships, because that's where real trust is built. The one thing that I've kind of learned just surrounding myself around older people is that not that they have life all figured out, but that I'm able to leverage their experiences and think more proactively. So rather than trying to make as much money as possible, I start asking these days is like, what am I trying to achieve by having this money? What is the benefit that I'm trying to get from making more money and working harder? I never thought like that when I was 18 years old. And if I surrounded myself around people like my friend Eugene, who talks about executive state and survival state, I probably would have got therapy a lot sooner and had a lot more healthy coping mechanism styles for like kind of like my relationship with my dad and all that. Mental health is really, really big, and especially as I'm talking to more seasoned business people, they're always talking about mental health and valuing that mental health. Abdullah Exploring asks, what do you think will happen to the high ticket space in the short term and long term as well? So what's happening right now in the current space of high ticket sales, high ticket offers, coaching programs and all that is that we're kind of seeing like almost like crypto boom, right? Where all the like coins are just tanking right now and the best coins are rising to the top. And we're seeing this happen to the space. What's really interesting right now is like in the short term, people are kind of selling shiny object syndrome and like a lot of scams and a lot of like bait and switch type of things, or the new opportunity, right? Business opportunities that will get you rich overnight. And while these aren't completely false, I think it is kind of like flashy advertisement and stuff. And I think that's gonna actually dwindle away. And especially with the dwindling value that college offers these days, it's gonna really incentivize people to kind of go out there and kind of look for alternative options to get a better ROI. Great book by Alex Hormozi. This is one of the books that I gift the most. I'll leave an affiliate link down below, but it talks about how to make offers so good people feel stupid saying no to. And sure, you can become a Sith Lord and scam people if you want, but really what this book is about is how to offer value. And recently I've been implementing this into one of my coaching programs for inbound sales, where I know one of the biggest struggles for new closers is that they have an insane time looking for their first client. And so what I do is kind of play client matchmaker and actually set them up with their clients and stuff like that. I use that as an example because it's gonna force coaching programs and all that to really level up their services and add real value. Because of the age of the internet, information is just freely available. Like there's all these books that you could buy and there's all these YouTube videos out there. Knowledge is dirt cheap, but the one thing that you can't get is the relationships. And that's the one cool thing about college that I never regret are the relationships I got to build during that time. So back in pharmacy school, I got to meet really motivated and driven people. The only other time in my life where I met the same type of people were actually through these coaching programs, high ticket coaching programs. And that's where the real value is in the relationships. I cannot tell you how many like cool YouTubers I met. I met Thomas Frank through PTYA. I met Charisma on Command. I met Ali himself. And I met a lot of different people. And that is the true value of a high ticket program. I think all these scam things will eventually disappear, especially with more exposure to the internet. But over time, I'm pretty positive on the outlook for high ticket programs. That value of relationships, of not only meeting people at the top of the game, but meeting people on their way to the top is invaluable. Siobhan asks, what book had the biggest influence on you? And I actually just ran over to grab my favorite book. But the book that I always think of is Go Giver. It really grounds me into my purpose, my why of who I want to be, not what I do, essentially, right? Would I say my favorite book is like my pharmacotherapeutics book from pharmacy school? Absolutely not. Sometimes whenever I feel lost, I go back to the fundamentals of who I want to be. And this book, Go Giver, ironically given by Scam Lock, or this is not the copy he gave me, but this is how I found out about this book. The one thing I love about this book is that it challenges the conventional means of doing business. If you watch things like Wolf of Wall Street or anything like that, Jordan Belfort pretty much screws over people just to rise to the top. But what I love about this book is that you can be not a head, you can be a genuine, kind person and elevate the people around you, and it actually generates more business in the long run. So it always reminds me, the law of value, the law of giving first. And that's something that's always been really important to me, because there has been people in my life who really during hard times really helped me out. For example, my friend Eugene, when my mom was going through her tumor stuff and I was going through some business dips, he actually just took the time out of his day just to kind of talk to me, help me through some really rough times. And I always appreciate that. And because of that, I actually invested in his coaching program because I knew how valuable his services were. And I do the same thing. I pay it forward sometimes too, by helping people with their YouTube channels, their thumbnails and all that sort of stuff. And, just doing my best to help people too. And it also reminds me not to only give out, but also to be open to receiving too. As a chronic people pleaser, a guy going through nice guy syndrome, a lot of times I'm self-sacrificing and I forget to replenish my cup. I print out the 5 golden rules every single time in this book, and I like to review this book at the end of every single year just to remind myself of my values and the person I really want to be. The next question I have is from my good friend Lisa, who is also a pharmacist, and she asks, am I happy? And that, my friends, is a very loaded question. If you followed my channel, I've probably been through a lot over these last 3 years. Everything from the loss of my father to switching careers out of pharmacy into this online digital space, which I literally knew nothing about, leaving LA and moving to Vegas, dealing with the breakups. It's been a lot, and at times I felt so isolated. And I don't know, I'm not sure if you guys know, but I'm actually an extreme extrovert, and being alone is one of the most scariest things in my life for me. And there was periods of my life where I honestly, if something happened to me, I wouldn't care anymore. And it was through those deepest moments where I really seeked out help. I started doing therapy. I think one of the things that really changed my life is realizing that I can only help myself so far. I think prior to these last 3 years, I've never really faced true adversity until recently. And until you face true adversity, it's helped me become a better person. It's helped me become more empathetic toward people. It's helped me take a step back and listen to people a lot more before opening my mouth and just giving a random recommendation. And most of all, it's really helped me kind of redefine happiness and not define happiness based off of my external outcomes or situations. What I realized is that difficult times, bad things happen to everyone. Everyone goes through some things, but it's usually the meaning that we put to these things that really causes us our own pain sometimes. Like for me, when I had ups and downs in my business, I took it on myself and was like, I'm not worth it, right? When my ex broke up with me, I took it as myself as like, I'm not worth it to keep on this relationship with. And well, these situations we can always learn from. I learned how not to attach my self-worth to these external factors. And what I also learned is taking myself on dates, treating myself better, filling my cup first has allowed me to be a lot more happier. I've become a lot more spiritual these days and just very grateful about everything I have. It's so funny. Sometimes when life kicks you down, miracles really do happen, right? Like clients out of nowhere come out of the blue and are just like, I want to work with you. I suddenly get a surge in AdSense when I'm ever feeling down. And while this might be a little woo-woo for some of you, literally the other day, I was just feeling kind of down and out with my YouTube channel. I was putting so much work into it. And I was like, man, is it really worth it? And right there and then, one of my viewers, longtime viewers, comes up to me at this random boba shop in Vegas and was like, dude, I watch you. I'm like, holy crap, that's so crazy. This random person in Vegas recognized me with my mask on, and we ended up chopping it up. It was good times. And then right after, like one of my close friends who I haven't talked to in 3 or 4 years saw my investing videos, and it really changed her life too. And she learned so much. She loved my videos and stuff. A lot of times we think gratitude is just writing down a list, but really gratitude, like for me, has really elevated my happiness. And I noticed that I'm joking a lot more. I'm laughing a lot more these days. And just like, I don't know, living life again. It's been a very, very dark journey. And sometimes, like the other day, I was thinking about my ex and how hurt I still feel sometimes. But I'm able to move past these moments a lot quicker, and I actually take the time to feel out my emotions a lot more these days. And whenever I'm feeling down, I treat myself to something, right? Whether that's a round of jujitsu or like eating baka at my favorite restaurant, you know, like these are things that I've done to kind of achieve happiness, or to kind of encourage a state of happiness. And I'm at a good point in my life where I would say for the most part, for I guess 80% of the time, I'm actually a lot happier than I was before. And I'm getting to the point where I actually crack jokes at Matt D'Avella and stuff on Twitter, and he actually responded to me, which was really, really cool. So the last question by Siobhan is, who are YouTubers you look up to? This is a great question. Ever since kind of taking Ali Abdaal's part-time YouTuber Academy, I've gotten to meet like all these people that I used to watch on YouTube, and I respect them for different reasons. Now there's one creator I have in mind that kind of like is the one that I look up to the most and I aspire to be. But I respect people like, for example, Charisma on Command for optimizing their click-through rate and all that. I really respect obviously Ali for his like in-depth reviews and kind of embracing the nerdiness side. I really like Thomas Frank too. And of course, gotta rep the Asians. I love watching David So. I love watching JK. And I also love watching this newer creator, Freesia Park too. But the one creator that really sticks out to me that I really aspire to be, that I look up to the most, like not only from a YouTube creator side, but also ethically and like how he lives his life, is Matt D'Avella. He embodies the Japanese philosophy of like Kaizen, lifelong mastery. And everything from his aesthetic to his values, I really relate to and with a lot. He talks about these concepts of slow growth, not like overnight success. And if I think about my personal journey, it's been all about that. It's been all about learning kind of the soft skills through pharmacy and getting better and better with communicating with people, being more tactful. It's all about like for sales, jujitsu, everything I do, like is that continuous improvement that gets me so addicted to these things, right? YouTube is another endeavor. And my friend made an interesting comment to me the other day. My friend Tom, the guy who told me if I should go all black or all red, he made a very interesting comment. He said, Kevin, I've known you for the last few years, and something that I've noticed is that when it comes to things that you love, you are so disciplined. Whether it's jujitsu or YouTube, you're just fascinated about it and you keep on going at it. And I would say, like, honestly, have you ever gotten a compliment and you're so taken away by it? You're like, really? I never really thought about it like that. Well, this is one of those compliments. I can't think of a YouTuber that's influenced me more than him, with the value of just focusing on being very minimalistic, like cutting out all the unessential things in my life, focusing on long-term mastery, just being a decent human being and cracking jokes. I think because of his content, I just laugh a lot more these days. I'm having a lot more fun with this like content. I'm not sure if you know, but I'm having tons of fun doing this Q&A too. Anyways, those are the questions I'm answering today. Again, if you want to be part of the next Q&A, make sure to leave a comment in the comment box below, and feel free to watch another video. I'll let the YouTube algorithm figure that out. Anyways, stay authentic, stay compassionate, and stay rebellious. Peace, mother people.